Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, J City Reviews. Thanks for stopping by today. I'm super excited about today's video, but I'm also a little bit nervous because I'm going to be doing a scratch test on my Citizen Promaster Tough. Now, if you saw my last video, I did a full review on this watch, and you found out, if you watched it, that I really love everything about the Citizen Promaster Tough. It's just a wonderful piece. I've been wearing it every day for the past 2 months that I've owned it, and I just really don't have anything negative to say about it. So why am I going to scratch this watch? Why am I literally going to take this knife to the bracelet of this watch? Well, the reason I'm going to do that in this video is because I'm curious about that coating that Citizen has put on the Citizen Promaster Tough. It's called Super Titanium or Duratec, and they use it on a variety of different watches, but that coating, Citizen claims, is 5 times harder than stainless steel. So I got curious about that. Is it really true? And so that's what we're going to find out in this video today. How tough is that Super Titanium, that Duratec coating? Now, it's going to be more scientific than just taking my knife to the bracelet of my watch. I actually went out and bought a scratch test kit called the Mohs Hardness test kit, and this kit comes with a number of different picks which allow you to scratch materials to find out their hardness. So we're going to use that in the video. We're going to explain more about how that all works as well. We're going to use this kit on a variety of different items before we start scratching the watch, just so we can get a feel for how the kit works and just get an understanding of it all. And then we're going to start scratching my Citizen Promaster Tough. Honestly, I'm a little bit nervous, as I already mentioned, about what's going to happen. I have no idea how it's going to go, if it's really going to stand up to their claims. I have no idea, so you have to stay tuned to the end to find out the results of that. And I hope that you do. I hope that you stick with us in this video, that you give it a like, that you subscribe if you're not subscribed. But without further ado, let's get to scratching my watch. Well, the Citizen Promaster Tough is literally on the chopping block right now, ready and waiting to go through the torture of a scratch test. But before we move on with that, we have to talk about Citizen's Duratec coating. I want to look at some of their websites to see what they have to say about it, so we can understand the claims that are being made. We're here on Citizen's American website. I just want you to see for yourself what they say about the Promaster Tough. The Super Titanium coating is on a stainless steel case and bracelet. This allows for anti-rust, scratch resistance, and hypoallergenic, and it's 5 times harder than stainless steel. Causes a little confusion because the material is stainless steel. The band is made out of stainless steel, and the case as well. But note here that it says this Super Titanium is a surface hardening treatment. That's important to note, that it's just a hardening treatment on the outside. So as you scroll down on Citizen's website, you get to the bottom and you can click this technology tab, and it'll take you to their different technologies, and you can click on the bottom one, which is Super Titanium, to learn more. And I don't want to spend too much time here. You can freeze the picture if you want to read more about it, or just go to their website. But as you read, you find out that Super Titanium is actually watches that are made out of titanium that have a special Duratec coating on them to make the titanium stronger and even more resistant to scratches and things like that. So it's a little bit confusing. There seems to be 2 types of Super Titanium. One that is just a coating that can go on to any watch material, and then there seems to be a Super Titanium that is actually the material titanium that has a special coating on it as well. So there's a little confusion there, and we'll see some more clarification about this as we look at some of their watches. You can type the word titanium into Citizen's website and hit enter, and you'll get a list of all the watches that are made out of titanium or have super titanium coating like the Promaster Tough, which you see here. So we're going to click on one of these, the Promaster Skyhawk AT, and we're going to find out that the material used on this watch, the case and the bracelet, are made out of super titanium. It has no mention of a coating, so we see that this is a titanium watch, and it's Citizen's super titanium that it's made out of. So to me, there's a little confusion when I see the phrase super titanium on a Citizen watch. You kind of get the idea that it might be made out of titanium, at least at the outset. But it's clear that there is a difference. There is a super titanium coating, and then there's the super titanium material, which is actual titanium. And but the important thing to remember, that if it's the coating or the actual material, both claim to be 5 times harder than stainless steel, which we saw in the information section about super titanium, and then which we saw in the information about the Promaster Tough, which just has the super titanium coating. It claimed to be 5 times harder than stainless steel as well. I know I haven't articulated this very well. I hope I haven't confused you, but I just wanted to make that clear before we go through with the rest of the test. Now that we've learned about Citizen's super titanium coating that they've used here on the Promaster Tough, let's talk about this Mohs Hardness test kit that we're going to use to scratch the watch. Mohs Hardness is a scale that's been around since the early 1900s that allows you to test the hardness of certain materials, and it gives this list here, and this is not everything. You can look up things that might not be on this list, but there are certain standards. That diamond is at the top. It has a hardness of 10. Nothing really reaches that level. Sapphire crystal is not on this list, but you can look it up, and sapphire has a hardness of 9 on the Mohs table. Glass down here, a hardness of 5. Typical knife blade, 5.5. Tooth enamel has a hardness of 5. Platinum is softer than that. You got copper, gold, and silver. Both are about 2.5 to 3 on the hardness scale. So what does all this information mean? Let's take, for example, wood. Very, very soft. You could not scratch a piece of gold with a piece of wood because the gold is harder than the wood. But on the other hand, you could use the gold to scratch the piece of wood. So this scale just gives you an idea by putting numbers for the hardness of certain materials. So really, it's easier just to test it out and to see how it all works. So we're going to do that in a moment, but I want to talk about these picks that come in this kit. There's 8 picks technically, 1 pick on each side. The first one is a 2, 3, and it goes all the way up to a 9. And what these picks help us determine, they're numbered. So the number 2 is a hardness of 2 on the Mohs scale. So if I were to scratch this piece of wood, which we saw has a hardness of 1 to 1.5, this number 2 pick should be able to scratch the piece of wood. And so as we try it here, you can see that it does in fact scratch the piece of wood because 2 is stronger than 1. It's pretty much that simple. So we're going to test out a few things here, and I'm going to use a macro lens that I picked up on Amazon for my iPhone, which I'm filming on, to help get a close-up on a few things. So we're going to use these picks first on a copper penny, which you can see back here, and then a piece of brass, and then the piece of glass, and just get an idea of how this kit works. So let's get into that right now. We're going to start off with a copper penny. If you didn't know, in 1982 they stopped making pennies out of copper, but this is a 1961, so it is still made out of copper, and we're testing it out with the number 2 pick first. According to the Mohs hardness scale that came with the kit, copper has a hardness of 2.5 or a max of 3, and so we're going to start scratching it with the number 3, see what happens. It's holding up pretty good. There's a few faint scratches there, nothing too concerning, so we'll move to number 4 and try this out, see what happens. And there's some deeper scratches for sure, so it seems like at least this one has maybe a 3.5 hardness. Now we're moving to a piece of brass that came with the kit, and they marked it with a 3.5 hardness, so we'll start off with the number 2 and nothing there. Move to the number 3 and see what happens. Couple faint little scratches, and we'll try the number 4. And here we go, and there's some of those deep, real scratches that you see there. And so it holds up that the hardness of brass is about 3.5. Now we'll move to glass, which also came with the kit. It has a hardness of 5.5, so we're going to start out with number 4. We're going to skip number 2 and 3 and start here. And you can't really see anything coming up, but if you're using these picks, you can feel that it's just smoothly going over the surface. So we're moving to number 5. Same thing, no scratches. Moving up to number 6, and here you can't feel it, obviously. You might be able to notice that it's a little more jerky because that pick is catching on the glass, and you can't see the scratches very well. You can faintly see them there, but I'm going to throw in a video where you can see them a little bit better. Here in the top right corner, you can see the scratches made by that number 6 pick. Alright, now it's time for the moment of truth. We did our testing on the penny, the piece of brass, the glass. Now we're going to do it on the Promaster Tough. Now I'm going to put it under that macro lens as well, get a nice close-up as we do these tests, and I'm going to be working on this part of the bracelet right here for the scratch test. And we're going to start all the way at the bottom with the number 2 pick and work our way up. And eventually we're going to get to the knife. And you might be wondering, how hard is the knife blade? Well, I tested it out using this kit because I couldn't find any information as far as a Mohs hardness number goes, and I'll roll a little video of me scratch testing this knife, but I found out that it's about a 7.5, which I wrote there on the knife. It's a little bit blurry, but you can see that. So it's about a 7.5. The steel used on this Kershaw dividend is a 420 high carbon steel, and from my testing it has a Mohs hardness of about 7.5, which is pretty high. So here we go. We're going to get under the macro lens and we're going to start scratching my watch. Alright, we're starting off with number 2. I expect nothing to happen. That would be absolutely terrible. And here we go. Alright, it's just gliding across the surface, so that's great. Let's step it up to number 3, which has this copper pick on it. Hopefully this holds up as well. And no real scratches there. So far, so good. Go to number 4. A little bit harder. And we'll give a few scratches here to see what happens. And nothing really coming. Maybe a few light, faint scratches, but nothing deep. Go to number 5. Getting into the nervous zone now. We'll see what happens here with number 5. And nothing really. So that's pretty good. A few more light, faint ones, you might say. But as we look at it a little bit, there's really nothing there. So we'll keep going. Move up to number 6. Getting a little bit scary. And start scratching it again. Oh boy. Yeah, this is a little bit different. You can see that it's putting some deeper scratches. Oh, it's kind of hard to watch. Man, yeah, that is definitely scratching. Here's a close-up of what the number 6 did to the super titanium, but we're going to keep going and until we get to the knife, because I promised that we'll scratch it with the knife as well. So we'll go to number 7 first, and it's also laying down some good scratches on this bracelet. Wow. Yeah, you can see them there. The number 6 on the right and number 7 in the middle. Now we're moving to the knife, 7.5. Yeah, and just like you expected, it's also scratching the watch. It doesn't have as much of a good tip as those picks do, but you can see it's definitely scratching it. Oh man, so there you have it. And I'm going to leave a few close-up pictures here so you can see the work that was done in this scratch test. Wow. Well, there you have it. Honestly, I'm a little surprised at the results. The super titanium coating, as you saw, started scratching at the number 6. So we can say that it has a hardness of about 5.5. And I failed to mention it before we did the test, but you can look this up. Stainless steel just in itself is supposed to have a hardness of 5.5 to even 6.3 on a list that I saw online. And then if you look up the hardness of titanium on Mohs hardness list, it's supposed to have a 6. So it's supposed to be even more than what we found today on what Citizen calls their super titanium. I'm honestly a little surprised. Now these scratches, I know some of you are probably yelling at me for scratching my own watch. These scratches you can barely see from far away. You really have to get up close to even see them. Even up close, you have to turn the watch in the right way. But even that being the case, thankfully I have small wrists, so I have a lot of extra links, so I can replace the one that I scratched today, and I will do that eventually. But I'm a little bit surprised, honestly. I don't think the super titanium coating held up to what Citizen said it does. As I just mentioned, I'm a little bit surprised about the results that we saw today doing this scratch test. I thought the super titanium coating would hold up better, hold out longer to higher numbers on that scale, but it started scratching at the number 6. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Is that what you expected? Do you think that this test today was a fair test? And what would you like to see in the future? Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are about this video, and then maybe we should do a comparison video between the bracelet of this Promaster Tough with that super titanium coating compared to a regular stainless steel bracelet. Let me know if that's something that you'd like to see on this channel, and we'll try and make that happen for you. Thanks for tuning in today to J City Reviews. I hope that you'll give this video a like and that you'll hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.